Okay. It looks like it's good to go. So the topic, which you already have a little bit of background, but I'm just going to take like 2 minutes here and kind of recap, was this idea of open access and open educational resources, just resources that are available, mostly editable, and kind of have that free reuse right. And so like you said kind of in your email to me, this is definitely a hot topic, and I'm just trying to get different perspectives on it and go from there. So do you want to start by just kind of sharing a little bit about yourself, like who you are and
Sure.
what you do?
Sure. My name is Kristin, and I am a seller on Teachers Pay Teachers, one-stop teacher shop. And I have been doing that since 2012. I stopped teaching about 3 years ago to do Teachers Pay Teachers full-time. So it's definitely become a career now for me. What other, I don't know what else you wanted to know as far as.
No, I mean, that's great. Yeah, I kind of knew a little bit about that. You said you homeschool your girls too.
Yes. Well, now that I'm home, I figured I was a teacher, so might as well put my skills to good use. So yeah, I homeschool my 2 girls. They're 8 and 5 right now. So we're getting ready to start the new year. And my husband's home with me, so he was a teacher too, so we do it together. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, it's really great.
Okay, so do you want to share a little bit about how your journey kind of started, like towards Teachers Pay Teachers? Because I know, obviously too, when you started teaching, it didn't really exist yet. So
No.
what kind of led you to it, and then kind of grown from there?
Sure. I would say I found it out of a need. I needed an income, an extra money. Who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
So at the time, my husband had just lost his job, and a friend of mine was like, "You make resources for your classroom all the time. You should check out this website because, Deanna Jump just made $1 million." And we were like, okay, so I mean, if she's making money, maybe I can make a couple bucks. So I ended up putting up stuff that I had made for my classroom. And I can hear my dogs going, sorry.
You're fine.
Okay. And, but it just kind of snowballed from there. And once I saw it just kind of growing, it was like, oh, I made $30. This is amazing. And, I was just like, okay, so what else do teachers need? And I was like, what am I making? And I would make stuff for my class and slowly use it, and, and grew, and it just kind of became more of a business mindset after a little while. I think it was just a hobby at first, I guess you could say. Like, I wasn't super, dedicated or anything, but it's as it grew and I saw the potential, I dove into it more. So. Okay.
What are the demands of maintaining it? Like, I know it's nice because now you're trying to do that full time, but a little bit, what does that look like?
So I don't know if it's because I work for myself, but I probably work more now than I did before, which I worked a ton as a teacher. So not to say, that I didn't, but yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. Resources take a long time to put together. But all the other stuff takes a ton of time too. Like, answering emails. I answer tons of emails every day, and Q&As on my Teachers Pay Teachers, and blogging, because you have to blog about your resources and about different ideas for teachers to help share things, pinning on Pinterest and Facebook and Instagram, and it all just takes a really long time. So yeah. I would say it's definitely a more than full-time job.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so then kind of going into this idea of open access, and what do you feel are the benefits of the open resources, and then what are kind of the downfalls? And then on the other side of that, resources like that you pay for,
right?
What are the benefits and downfalls of those?
Okay. Well, I would say the open access to me is, that's probably what I used mostly when I was teaching, because again, I didn't know about Teachers Pay Teachers. So I feel like I kind of have a good perspective on all that. A lot of the stuff you just find for free. Do you mean like just finding it free online, or are there specific websites, or you just mean just things being available?
Just anything that's available.
Yeah. So I used to scour the internet for things and look for things, and I found a PowerPoint on the Civil War, and I downloaded it, and I was so excited. It's all free and it is editable. So that's nice because, you don't find a lot of editable stuff other places. So I would say that's definitely a benefit. I would say the only thing that I think is the biggest downfall is that you kind of get what you pay for. So if it's free, you don't get to make those choices as far as, you might not find exactly what you need. It might not be your standards that you're covering. Like I would find things on the Civil War and then it wouldn't cover my standards. I mean, I could edit it and kind of play with it, but it took more time and work. Also, I didn't know if it was accurate. I think that was a big thing because it's free. I mean, anyone could have made, I don't know who made this. I don't know if they are just somebody, if it was a teacher or not, or I'm assuming it was, or how much experience they have. Usually I never found answer keys with the stuff. Like there was, it was always incomplete. Like, so it was a piece of a PowerPoint or like, oh, here's a worksheet, but there'd be no answer key or no explanation of how they used it, or you just kind of miss that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I think that was the biggest thing with the free stuff. And that kind of goes with the paid stuff. And that's exactly the opposite of why, if you can find free stuff online for sure. And that's nice. And I think that's where most people start. But I think once you realize that you don't get exactly what you want and it's not always complete, then you tend to start. Like I remember when I bought I bought like a book study. Like it was like a unit for a novel unit or novel study unit. And it wasn't on Teachers Pay Teachers, actually. It was like just on a random website. I don't even know why I trusted to put my financial information into this website, but I did. And I just remember being so excited, and it didn't look that cute or pretty or anything, but it was just such good information. It was this whole unit on Tiger Rising, the book that I was reading with my kids at the time. And that's when I kind of realized, like, okay, I paid a couple bucks for that, but it was like everything I needed. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm probably jumping to your next thing about the paid stuff, is I think that's the benefit of where paid stuff comes in. And it is, obviously I'm biased here because it is my business, but at the same, I understand that. But thinking about it just from a teacher's point of view is, if you are looking for something that is full, you want to make sure it covers your standards. You're going to get answer keys. You're going to get teaching explanations. It's going to be a full product that's going to help you, a resource. Then, you're going to pay a couple bucks. And I slowly became okay doing that. I wasn't at first. I didn't want to pay for anything. I wanted to find the free stuff. But then I slowly became okay paying for it when I realized what I was getting. So
the quality of it. How do you, and I just kind of thought of this off the top of my head, but how do you respond to, because you're always going to have, I feel like, critics too that are oh, you shouldn't be like charging people for the resources that you created. How do you respond to that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I hear that one a lot. I would say the biggest thing is that if I were gonna, like, if I looked at the stuff that I was putting on Teachers Pay Teachers at the very beginning when I started, that was the stuff I made just for my classroom, and I was okay putting online, and I probably would have put it online for free had Teachers Pay Teachers not been there. Mm-hmm. And it kind of stunk, I'll be honest with you. It wasn't very great. I didn't spend a ton of time on it. I mean, it was just stuff that I whipped up together and threw stuff together for my class. And I think that's the biggest thing is I don't know that you can ask a teacher to spend 40 hours, if not longer, because it depends on what it is, putting together one resource. Because I mean, I'll have one resource in my store and I've worked a month on it. Yeah. So I would never do that for free. Like the quality would be way down. If I were just throwing it together and putting it up for free, it might take me a couple hours, a lot less time, and the quality, it might have a lot of mistakes. I probably wouldn't have done an answer key because why am I gonna, I think the effort you put into something when you're charging for it is a lot different than when you're just throwing it together for free. So I think, I just don't think anyone can ask you to do that. I just don't think that's right to expect a teacher to spend a month putting together a resource and then say, but then share it with everyone, get it for free. Don't be compensated for your time. So that's kind of the answer I would give for that. Yeah.
I think coming into this, when we were asked to, kind of pick a hot topic, this all kind of just came about. It was just like a natural progression. And we learned about open access, and then suddenly I thought about Teachers Pay Teachers, but I know it's there. I've pulled resources occasionally. I've bought some stuff, but I've never actually done research and learned more about it and realized how many people have made a business out of it.
Yeah.
Which is awesome because, I mean, it's not like a textbook company creating something that might not have some of that firsthand experience. Whereas like teachers who have been in the classroom or who, you know, like in your case, you were in the classroom, then you kind of left and you're homeschooling, and it's just really neat to see what people.
Yeah, and you're right. And I always love that too, that whenever I buy something on Teachers Pay Teachers, I feel like I'm putting money into a teacher's pocket. So I feel good about it. Like we're helping each other out, you know, and I know that if another teacher, and I can obviously, you know, everything is, you have to make sure you're getting quality work when you buy something always. But when you go into a teacher's store and you see their stuff and you see it looks great, you know, you're getting, I don't know, from a teacher, you just know you're getting good stuff. It's not going to be your typical publisher, like worksheets and whatever. Yeah.
So, all right, that's really all I have. Do you have any questions for me or anything else you kind of want to share?
No, I feel like you covered it, but I mean, there are a lot of skeptics out there. It's, you know, but I guess you can't please everybody, and, you know.
Yeah, it's like with everything. Yeah, I haven't even, I mean, I'm at a point now where I'm hoping like between tomorrow and Tuesday, we have to put together like a 5-minute presentation that just like presents both sides of it. That's really all. And that's like kind of what we looked at through the whole course, was like even civil discourse and looking at, you know, all sides of a topic and teaching students to look at all sides of a topic. So it's more of just an informative thing, and I've learned a lot. So I appreciate you taking out, you know, 15 minutes of your time to talk to me.
Yeah, no problem. And if you find you have more questions, let me know for sure.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll go ahead. I'm going to end this out, and then I'll kind of just send you a follow-up email, and then we can wrap up from there. So,
yeah, sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. All right.
Bye.
Bye.